Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships. And after the last video with the Omaha, I decided, well, with the helpful suggestion of one of my commenters, to take a look at the Furutaka. The Furry Taco. Yes, it is finally back on my channel. It's been a long time since I've actually had this ship. And I've honestly have to say I've kind of missed this ship. Now, as you can see, she is running the B-hole and not the freaking proto Alba that you get with the C-hole, which I think is total crap. Yeah. Yep. So we are running the Furutaka as the B-hole. And I was curious whether or not, does she hold up still as good as I remember her. And I have to say, yeah, she kind of does. So as you can see, we are actually top of the tier as far as all the tier ships. Tier 5. We have New York, Iron Duke, Julio Cesar, Wyoming, Kaiser, Omaha, Furutaka, Karlsruhe, Sviatlana, Jinwei, Clemson, and Isakazi. On the enemy team, there's a New York, Texas, Koenig, Arkansas Beta, which we really got to keep an eye on because that's obviously a beta player. Yogi, Omaha, Konigsberg, Phoenix, Karlsruhe, T-22, Clemson, and Shenyang. So, Furutaka. As many people know, or Basie, if anyone played her before the new bastardization of the Alba upgrade, it's very unique having 6 individual turrets, and it is the first line, I believe, of the original that got 203. So she had a very powerful punch at tier 5. So that made her very potent, very strong against other ships. Now, enemy Shenyang is spotted. I am taking my time because the Furutaka is, well, she's still a fragile ship. Something you definitely learn very, very early on. She can take citadels relatively easily, but I am taking my time. More than likely that Shenyang, as you can see, is possibly dropping torpedoes, so we're gonna go ahead and speed up. But the nice thing about the Furutaka is the fact that she does have both hydro and a plane, which is very beneficial because the plane does spot the Omaha that is lurking around. This Omaha is going to be doing his very best to ensure he stays alive. May have heard my previous video on being conservative as far as possibly trying to prevent yourself from being in a very, I guess you could say, awkward positioning. As you can see, he actually has himself facing towards the island for a speedy getaway, which does allow him protection as well as being able to open up on the Jinwei. Now, the Jinwei is going to do his best, and high props to him, but fortunately we just came around the island just enough to get overpens, which is unfortunate. Trust me, with the 203 you can easily citadel a Omaha and do pretty substantial amount of damage. Now the Furutaka, as you have seen, does have torpedoes, and she is going to be the last tier which allows you to have fairly forward-facing torpedoes. As you can see there, torpedoes does allow us to actually fire them fairly straightforward compared to the later tiers of the Japanese line, which essentially does not allow you to do that. The only time you can fire your torpedoes is if you turn tail and run, which is very difficult because you do have to show a lot of broadside just to get your stern of your ship to the enemy. The Shenyang, well, he unfortunately came up against 3 battleships. Don't know if he probably got some torpedoes away. We'll see if he did. But Karlsruhe is now officially spotted. That is a tier 4 German cruiser. And double citadels like that. 9,800, knocked off about half of his health right there. But one thing you will have to keep in mind with the Furutaka when you're running the B hole and not the bastard C hole is the fact when you are switching sides, you do have to rotate 3 of your turrets completely around just to get them on the other side. The first 3, as you can see there, we generally can get them over pretty quickly. But RNG still is going to play a huge factor as far as reliability of actually hitting a ship. But this Kazaru is, I think, coming to a wiser. And ooh, looky there, there's the Omaha decided to back up. Possibly is dropping torpedoes. But honestly, really shouldn't be much of a danger. Now, one thing to keep in mind about the Furutaka is she does have kind of a slow reload. 15 seconds with the upgraded guns. But look at that. 4 citadels on that Omaha, leaving him precariously low on health. I am actually trying to ensure that I don't go around that island because there is both the Arkansas Beta and I believe a Wyoming is coming around. I think there's another battleship that is coming this way. But one nice thing about the Japanese cruiser line is her torpedoes have a really good range. Not the fastest torpedoes in the world, but 10 kilometers is very nice, and it can be very surprising to some enemy ships. Look at that. Two hits with our shells, and he is left at 1,592. And unfortunately, he is going to be kind of hidden for some time because he obviously is well aware that he's very low in health. Now, our team is not doing so hot. We're down 1 ship, and majority of our battleships went over to the eastern side into this channel. And whenever a battleship, especially low tier battleships like that we have, get to this channel and there's really nothing to shoot, they're essentially useless. So the western side of our fleet is going to have to try to deal with the enemy team as much as possible. And there we are spotted, and here I make a serious error in judgment. I overled my target and overshot my target apparently too. One thing to keep in mind whenever you're going from high tier to low tier, the ships are definitely a little bit slower than what you probably are more accustomed to, so I misled my target just a bit. Don't worry, I will get better at that aiming thing here soon. Kazaru is once again spotted. Smoke screen from the Jinwei did dissipate, so now we have a good visibility of him. Should be able to take him out here as soon as we can. But you can kind of see how I'm playing the Furutaka. I am taking my time by using, once again, the advantage of the islands. And look at that unneeded citadel on the Kazaru. So that is our first kill. And, oh, this poor Jinwei. He's had such a difficult time against this Omaha. Has now come up face to face with the Omaha and has gone down. But the Jinwei has managed to get torpedoes away and is fortunately able to take out that enemy Omaha. So at the moment our teams are fairly even on ships. They still have 2 destroyers. We only have 1 destroyer left. But once again, the majority of our battleships are in the channel not being particularly useful. You will see this multiple times here in a little bit. So coming around this island, enemy Texas has also shown up in this area. There's also the Arkansas Beta and the enemy Phoenix, which is essentially a ripoff of the Omaha, or the Omaha is a ripoff of the Phoenix. So technically they're the same ship at 2 different periods of time, in essence. One's a prototype, one's a not. But anyways, coming around this island, I'm taking my time. The Arkansas Beta is starting to head west, and I am currently aiming at the Arkansas Beta, hoping to maybe get some torpedoes, but it doesn't look like he's being particularly useful. And once again, using the benefit of the islands to ensure I don't get blapped by the enemy battleships. So fortunately, we're able to get at least 3 turrets off on the front. Do get a citadel hit, which is really super nice. And torpedoes are now on their way towards the Arkansas Beta. Now, there is one thing I will have to say with the sea hull is the fact that her turrets essentially become a 2x3 setup, which is very beneficial because you're able to get at least 6 guns onto, 4 guns onto target instead of 3 when you're only able to get the very front of your ship. The Furutaka does have to rely quite heavily on showing broadside just to get the first, at least first 3, or even all 6, sorry, all 6 to even open up. But look at that, double citadel on that Phoenix, very low in health. Now, it looks like we actually got a torpedo hit on the Arkansas Beta. Looks like he is currently flooding, and doesn't look like he is going to get any chance of repairing. And of course we leave the Phoenix very low on health, and our friendly Omaha has blundered into the enemy battleships and has obviously gone down. So at the moment our team's not doing so hot. We are 6-4, and the enemy team is, well, fortunately for us, the enemy team doesn't really seem to be pressing their advantage. Our team is actually quite outnumbered. Actually, no, fairly even, technically. Battleships are slightly outnumbered on this side, but I am starting to push out. Gonna see if I can focus down this Arkansas Beta, but once again, the rate of fire on the Furutaka is very, very slow. But it looks like he is flooding to death. There we go. Liquidator, very, very nice. And there's that pesky Phoenix that I've been trying to kill for some time. Can we get this kill? Fire the first 3 turrets, don't need all 6. Texas is also low on health, 598. See my chance. Yep, I'm a pesky kill stealer. Double strike. Yeah, I kind of stole that kill. But hey, kill secure, that's all that matters. And now our team is actually in fact ahead in ships. However, the majority of our ships, as you can see, is kind of on the southern flank, actually very near to the cap, and looks like the majority of their ships are in fact northwest, currently combating against our battleships up there, who are actually doing a really good job ensuring that they are being the main focus of the enemy team. And the Julio Cesar actually takes out the Clemson with main batteries, and now we are 2 ships ahead, and the enemy team should be well aware. And once again, this is probably just due to the fact that this is low tier, and you really shouldn't be expecting very much from low tier battle play. But they don't seem to be that interested in defending their cap. It looks like they are very interested in taking out our enemy battleships. Now, I will have to say, our own battleships, as you see, we also have a Kaiser. Keep an eye on this Kaiser. And in New York, they're very slow battleships. Kaiser's a little bit faster than New York, but once again, they're very slow battleships. And whenever you play battleships, you should be always well aware of your situation, what's happening on the map, where you need to be at a given time. Especially low tier. Low tier is very detrimental if you aren't paying attention like you should. And there we have just lost our Iron Duke. And any moment now, we should be losing our Julio Cesar. But honestly, at this time, there's no problem for us because we have officially started capping. And I think the fastest ship on their side is going to be their T-22, who has had a phenomenal game. 4 kills in this battle. Very, very good job there. But once again, they're more focused on killing than actually achieving the objective. So, yes, I understand killing's fun, but it's always not the greatest thing for you if you're going to essentially lose the battle. But honestly, there's not much for me to do. All open up, even if the T-22 decides to come back this way. Now the enemy team is going to try to maybe get lucky. As you will see here in a moment, they will try to actually blind shot into the cap, but the cap is pretty big. Now, I did mention about the Kaiser. This Kaiser is actually currently AFK. I think he went AFK here in a moment, which is amusing because the cap would be faster. Capping the cap would be faster had he actually sailed in, got those additional points, but instead he, I believe, left the game or lost connection. Who knows? But anyways, that's essentially it for this battle. Furutaka, still a potent beast, still a fun tier 5. I actually enjoyed replaying her. And I really, once again, I've mentioned this, but I really enjoy the old setup. This is the setup I started playing when I got to the Furutaka. This is what I basically experienced, and this is what I remember from her, and I highly enjoy her. Still a fragile ship, still you do have to be extremely cautious whenever playing this, whenever you're playing this cruiser. You have to be extremely careful, but it's a good demonstration on kind of how the future of the IGN cruiser line is going to be. Guns are pretty phenomenal, 203, but with that, base is captured, and not a bad battle for the first time taking this ship back out again. So overall, I will have to say I missed the Furutaka, as I did mention, but it's not very often that you get Liquidator on the Furutaka, let alone a cruiser. But it was very fun to go back and re-experience the Furutaka. Hopefully this has been potential help for anyone that it might be starting to push up the IGN line. I know it's just a brief cameo, but it's a general idea. Your guns are pretty fantastic. 203 millimeters. They punch pretty hard. Not many cruisers at tier 5 actually have that. But once again, your guns are pretty phenomenal, but just depends on, I guess, what setup you go with. However, one thing you do have to keep in mind is her armor is very, very frail, and you do have to be also very cautious whenever playing. You have to keep in mind of your surroundings, finding a good island to provide cover, and not be in the open selling broadside to a enemy battleship, because that will be a quick and certain trip to Davy Jones' locker. Not bad as far as damage went. Arkansas Beta was probably where we got most of our damage due to the torpedoes, but also the flooding, which was pretty phenomenal. 18,447 was in flooding damage. Phoenix, you can see with the AP as well as the Karlsruhe and the Omaha, over 20,000 on all of those. And yes, I know I'm a dirty club sealer, but it's fun. Sometimes it's good to go down to tier 5 and just have some fun. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.